How's your week been? How's your week been, sir?
Oh, it's been really good. Just caught some downside moves off some triggers, and then just kind of waited it out with that rally. I wasn't sure how sustained that would be, and it just kept going. So um, caught a little more downside when it got overheated. That was just kind of my mindset today.
Yeah, I Monday wasn't. I mean, it was okay, but I was waiting for the drop Monday. So
Yeah,
I mean, I made a couple $100. The same with Tuesday. So I was kind of behind, and then Wednesday I got lucky with BlackRock. Um, I kind of went full position, and it just never kind of came back. So I just walked the stop loss up, kind of one traded it, and Redbox kind of did that for me today too. A little short of goal on Redbox, but um, and then I just took the rest of the today off. I still see some downside. I don't know where you are with that, but um, did we not perfectly call it? I mean, we did we not walk through this happening like last Thursday?
oh,
Um,
I know.
I
Yeah,
mean, I mean, you thought Friday. I thought Monday. It was
yeah,
Tuesday. It was Tuesday. Um,
right.
but knowing that, hey, this is the next step, not we were going back to all time highs. Like I personally said it, and I'm gonna pound the table on it because I know I'm right. It's sideways or down. It just is. You're gonna get these pops that are 10 or 20% on stocks, but when they just
Yeah,
dropped 80%, it ain't shit. Like coin moving 100% goes to $100, right? That's
right,
nothing.
right.
That's nothing. It's
Yeah,
nothing. And so people need to wrap their head around that's the opportunity right now. That if things get even kind of a little bounce and the bear market bounce, or you do get a little news and get a little run, you're gonna get a decent move, but it's not something that's probably gonna sustain at this point in time.
yeah,
Um,
A, lo-
absolutely.
a long time ago, Prof said during a bear market, you're going to have these bull pops that are going to be euphoric and rocket, and then it's going to pull right back again.
yeah, and the only reason for me, like I know that's a thing, is because as a trader, I'm a bottom trader. So I kind of said it Thursday, like I don't know what to do with my hands here the rest of the way. Like help me out, because is there when there needs to be another level, that's hard for me to buy off of. I always buy off the pullback. Um, so through time, I've missed a lot of plays in a more of a flatter or a euphoric market. But this is real easy when you know it's coming, and trading off the bottoms. Man, I don't know why it's so easy for me, but it's just really easy to play psych bounces on the backside or to play past levels on the backside. Um,
Yeah. I mean, like for me, I had said last week, and I've just been really in on Tesla just because it's had a little more clarity than
mhm.
usual. But I said, I was short term bullish and then longer term bearish. Well, we got the big pop on it, and then it hit 750 and just got rejected, and it's just been getting kind of rejected on the way down, all these pops. And so when it spiked this morning, given the environment, that was a pretty confident moment to enter puts on it. Right, bounced right off my top trigger, just was not having it, and quick 75% on that.
What was your top trigger? Just curious what you had.
Let me call it up. 685.
Interesting. I like it. Shit's better than anything I have.
And it kind of hugged that line during the rally and then
Yeah.
failed again.
What is that your math problem line?
It is, yeah. It's
I like it. No, I
from
like. Yep. Good
from
stuff.
last week,
Yep. No.
and
Oh,
it's,
okay.
it's just been holding up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't really. It didn't. It didn't respect anything I had going on today. It supermaned it. I normally don't play Tesla much, though. I will when it gets back in the fives. But um, I said that because I think that's important. If you're doing the work on a stock, you might as well trade it. I mean, at this point in time, what are you doing? Like, if you're
Yeah.
wasting time looking at a stock, trade it, and then if you can't beat it, stop looking at it. Like, it's that simple. Um, I've backed way off the SPY because the people are trading it the right way, right? Like, it's not
Yeah.
these wait till 12, load both sides because there's going to be volatility at the noon hour. That's not the play anymore on SPY. So I'm good with SPY in the room now. It's a totally different feel, and Tesla's the same thing. I mean, if you're actually playing levels now, like legitimate levels, it's way better than just playing news or the noon o'clock hour. It's noon on the West Coast. I don't know. You guys are all different, but
Yeah.
power hour starts at noon out here, guys. Beautiful thing. Um, yeah, before we get, I'm definitely want to since we put this out there, and I'll state it in the room. Kind of a summer schedule for me. I don't know where you are on that, but if I'm a little lax on the goal this time of year just because the volume's normally not there. So I come in and make a couple good trades. If I'm green, it's a good day for me. I'll hit a winner. I'll get more than a base hit once or twice a week.
Yeah.
Doing that, and it kind of just pans out for me. Um, but I'm always here for the people in the room, and we continue to put our plays out. I'm sure it's the same for you. Um, you have life in this
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
I hit a goal pretty early this morning, and from there was just kind of watching and commenting on a few things, and it's that natural gas collapse was was interesting, and I mean, honestly, like that's the kind of ETF or stock that like people be should be in if they're feeling like they're struggling or they don't like the things that move too quickly. You don't want to play weekly options because it just evaporates so fast. I mean, because we've cold since post split multiple times. We've talked about that, and
we played it. We played it pre-split. Told them to wait for the split.
yeah,
Told them to play sub 20 after we seen where it split and what it was doing, and then said through the 20s like just get on because it's this is probably it. And now now my number is like 30. If I get 30, 32, that's kind of where the chart is. It's
yeah, and natural gas futures. I've talked for a long time about those dropping and getting it's at 550 now. That was 9 a couple weeks ago. So it's gives you a sense of how cold moves in relation to those futures.
I'm
So you can always trade off that.
be a little critical of you here, but just because the only way, if you're a little critical, that's the only way you get better, right? Is by fine tuning things. Right after the split, we had a little. It was in voice, and I asked you like the high end for coal, like where do you see it going? We're here. Like you said 40, 45 at that point in time. Do you have
Yeah.
a different opinion of it now?
Yeah, I mean, just from, I guess, just the experience of seeing how it's
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
with futures. Yeah, I mean, like 60, 65, I think could easily happen. But basically what I was basing that on was natural gas futures going to 450. And I thought that coal would be at about $40 when that happened.
Okay.
Well, it's we're $1 away from that,
Okay,
and
okay,
it's
okay.
40. So like, yeah, so I mean, probably 60 or even higher, 70 maybe. So yeah, I think it's got a ways to go.
Yeah, because
And
especially after the split, the chart is flying blind. Like it's three four
right,
hundred dollars.
yeah,
So I assume whatever you see on the flow side is going to be more important than anything on the chart. Because I just don't have a clue. Are we going to 80? Are we going to is this it? Like it's hard to read, but you're probably have the best educated guess on this. So
right,
I
right.
wanted to get the recalibration of it because I was like, damn, that 40 came real quick.
Yeah, I mean that surprised me. It did. I
I
thought
mean,
maybe we consolidate in the low 30s for a while, but yeah, that thing moves. It's and that was just a total collapse in natural gas today. I mean, UNG just 13% down. So
Well, no,
huge.
what was that like? It was at like 36, 37, cold. And we were both
Yeah.
screaming over the keyboard at Pops, "Do not buy that!" And it made a $5,
Yeah.
$6 move from there.
right. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I feel bad, but the risk reward ratio just really, I didn't see it. Not at that time. Not in this market, right?
Right.
I just didn't see it. So
Yeah, I didn't do it.
good. Hey, you're gonna miss more than you get, but it's gonna save you from losing more than you win.
Exactly.
I'm good at those kind of things. UNG, is that going back to 12? What about, what's this guy? 16? Let's do 16. I like it. Those are pretty much the two things I wanted to touch base on. That in general, summer's a little different, and we do have lives, but like again, if you tag me, I'm there in 2 seconds. Um, my plan still is kind of Mondays. Monday's my day. Like I trade all day Monday because of the homework factor.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, Wednesday are kind of, I guess I call them A+ days, where I just look for the best setups possible, from what I already know and already have in notes. And then after that, it's kind of market direction or what's offered. I mean, if we get a euphoric Thursday, Friday, some weeks, that's when you want to trade all day.
Yeah, for sure.
But for how I trade, I don't short. I've been thinking about it, and I don't. I really have, and I don't really play the put side. I like the call side just in general. So when everything's down, it's just me staring at charts, and it gets real boring, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah, I'm shorting more, really because basic materials has been so brutal. I mean, I don't have like a spot for the upside plays like I did in like November, December, January. Um, I mean, there's healthcare. Don't really like that sector that much,
Yeah.
so I kind of stay away from it. But I agree on PFE. I think we're in a pretty reliable channel on that.
They just got that pill news too. It's sitting on the fence, and yeah, this
Yeah.
50 to 55 is just, I don't know why people don't play it more, especially on the option side, or just play the downside from 55, 54, 55 because it's going to come back. That's pretty much been the roof.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you on healthcare though. You kind of got me off bios and healthcare for the most part after Clove.
Yeah, they're kind of tough. I mean, I do see things like Cardinal Health the other day. Weed's kind of a different sort of deal with healthcare, but yeah, I just like Novavax and mRNA. They're just kind of trading on momentum, but there isn't really a good catalyst to push those right now. So I don't really trust bullish flow on those.
Yeah, I'm with
And
you.
just kind of like to stick to some other ones. I put in my notes Upstart. I wanted to see how it held up to some heavy selling pressure, and it did very briefly dip under $30, and then it came right back up over 31 and just kind of bounced around between 31 and 32.
I missed that
which
ticker. Sorry, I missed that ticker.
Upstart.
Oh, okay. I think I have 32 on that.
Yeah, me too. So
32.80.
So anyway, yeah. So it to be down 1.7% on a day like today, not too terrible. Kind of magnet back to our line at 32. So that's definitely something I like to see. And real estate, I just keep saying in my notes every day I'm staying away, and it's really just because there isn't a lot good happening right now in that sector, and I'm just kind of looking for further pullback. Open between 4 and 450 is kind of where I want to see what it does down there, and I think it'll be pretty good after that.
Rocket hit one of my scanners this morning, and I pulled it up in Mumu, and it had like Rocket News, like the filter for the news for their it just like it was weird. I was like, this is a real estate company,
Right.
but it kind of failed throughout the day. I said that kind of half jokingly because it's not 100% true. Um, but anything under 50 cents, I'm just taking off my list because it just moves so quick, right? That it'll just be flashing 12% move or 10% move in my scanner. And it totally distracts me on these 4-cent moves that don't really hold or that sometimes are the spread, right?
Right.
But stocks like XELA, that one sticks for some reason. Kern, ITRM, there's a couple more. But when they get to the downside, when they get, and $1 is a big level, and then 50 cents is a big level. There's no real bottom. They can go to 10, 12 cents. And Upstart is another. I mean, I'm not saying Upstart's going to go to 10, 12 cents, but that's what you're seeing in a chart like Upstart. Is there's no real support down here. There's nothing. You're falling out of a plane. Like there's nothing stopping you, and people are just building support here at this 30. People are saying, no, that's a good place to get the value at. That could fall down to 20. That could fall down to 10. That could fall down to 5. There really is no bottom until the overall trend changes. Or you build a shitload of support. I'm talking like 3 months, not a month and a half or 6 weeks, before you can actually count on a level. And then if you get on the other side of that level, you're still in the same spot. So like the all-time low or the all-time bottom isn't normally the safest place to trade. But when you get under that, you got to understand that like just letting it go is probably a better situation. Piton too. We can talk about Piton. How much that fell after it got under. Like it was holding what, 10, 11, right? And then it went down to 850 today. Because there truly is no bottom to this thing. 880. Wait. Yeah, there truly is no bottom to that stock right now. So that could continue if we don't catch that 10, in my opinion, on that one. But there's a lot of stocks that we play that are in that position right now. Piton and Upstart are great examples. They're good companies that probably will make it through this recession or whatever the hell you want to call it. But that's kind of why I posted that Amazon thing today. It was $6 or $15 on IPO. It went to 100 and something, and it went right back down to 6 because the market was in a tech correction in the dot-com bubble. And it literally took 10 years to get back to that 150 level. But if you do the math from 6 to 150, if you know you got a decent company on your hand, that's good money. And then from that point, it's also 10x since 2014. So those are the generational opportunities that I think we have right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thinking like 32 is the bottom or 9's the bottom, you got to go back to my normal state, my original statement of sideways for 6 months or down. And that's just where we are right now. This last move down here was because we finally got the GDP number because 2 straight quarters of negative GDP is what a recession is. That's the technical term for it. And we finally got 1 quarter of negative GDP. We finally got level 1. We've been talking about it for 7, 8 months, but we finally got the first stake in the ground. And that's why we dropped this last 4 days. Talk some Pete, because that was a lot. Oh, awesome. But yeah, so that's just where I think the market is right now. Plenty of opportunity in these small rallies. But I wouldn't be scaling into any large positions currently. But playing, yeah, you're good. But playing stuff for like a 20 or 30% swing right now is totally possible on most things.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is, with a lot of those stocks in particular, those the fintechs, or the growth stocks that there's nothing. It's just a bad time, like, to be a buy now pay later, given the economic situation and the debt numbers and all that kind of stuff, and like layoffs happening all over the country. It's it's just kind of dicey to be one of those companies, and it's not like a commodity where you have something that can pull you up that you can kind of anchor onto. So yeah, they work for day trades, but you just can't really trust any kind of recovery. They just give it right back.
Yeah, and those ones, I mean, you got to kind of assess risk reward. We talked about Ford the other day. It's the same way. There's probably less risk, less reward with Ford than like an Upstart, a Square, a PayPal, anything like that. Datadog, CrowdStrike. We can throw all the names. I mean, everything's down, right? Um, Probably less risk with a name like Ford, but there's, I mean, across the board, if you just find the good companies, learn to trade them, when they turn, you'll recognize it, and you're going to have a great spot in 10 years. Um, that's kind of why I'm staying on these charts, because some of these companies I think will either be absorbed or they will be the ones to make it out this and be able to expand their business. But I mean, that's on the year. I think it's important to look at that right now that way, because if you don't, you're going to get caught at being an investor, and investors are getting murdered right now.
And yeah, so I'll have some sector notes late tonight. I'm on the road this week, but just kind of I'll go through real quick kind of what I'm seeing. Basic materials, I'm just kind of just staying away for now. I like where X is on the chart, and I like some of the longer term flow, but I'm just not in a big hurry on it because around 18 is great. But I just kind of want to confirm an upside move before I just jump into it. And steel has been taking a beating lately. A lot of activities on Amazon weeklies, so expect that to do something something tomorrow. It's looking bullish. I don't know. I don't have a real sense about tomorrow, and also the thing you got to keep in mind is that could just be a morning spike and then it just fades all day. But yeah, so you could have some levels on Amazon and play that for sure. Has a lot of activity up to, let's see here. Yeah, 110. So that'd be a pretty decent move in the morning if that happened. And let's see what else.
Surprised Shop isn't in your
Yeah, Shop. It's been looking bearish post split. I just haven't been playing it, but we'll kind of see if there's some sold puts at 30. So we'll see
30.
if that does anything. There's a couple that I actually had sent you in notes because it does have some flow, but I just cannot get a floor on it at all. Is like QuantumScape QS. I think that's a good example of what you were talking about earlier, where we're back at.
Did we do this one? Did we do this one?
We I may have I may have had it on the hot list before, weeks ago, but it's sitting here at revisiting lows from mid June, and I mean there are buyers. It might bounce here, but it just doesn't seem like something I can really trust.
What do you got on this weekly? I mean, low eights are looking good. It's holding 8 real well, but It's kind of like a week good, week bad chart, right? Week up, week down, week. Um, yeah, you really don't have anything down here though. What's the IPO price? 9. Yeah. These ones that get underwater, with nothing, they're just real hard to trust anything. Like um, normally it's not the case that 80% of the stocks are in that shape, right? So you normally just walk away from those. Um, yeah, you got 825 twice, but I wouldn't trust that, P. Hut was the other one. That was the other one I was thinking of, about stocks that are on the downside that don't have a bottom.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
That's what.
down
That's what.
another six
Yeah,
percent.
that's what. Well, because you kind of mentioned in the thing, like, let's watch it around a buck, but it, it could just keep rolling. This just keep rolling down the hill. Um, it came from that land, right? It came from the 35
Right, right.
sit
Yeah,
land.
look at that,
So
50 cents.
yeah, so
Yeah, yeah,
it's not impossible. Um,
yeah.
right on. Well, that's what I got. I'm really be adamant real quick. It's for me. It's easy to kind of tell market, not easy, but it's telling to tell market direction in the morning by kind of how the socials are moving. If it's all bio pennies, low float bio pennies, not going to be a good day. You can kind of tell volume on your, your red box, your Revlons, stuff like that. Stuff that's kind of ran the previous couple days, high volume. Um, that's very telling to me in the morning on what's going to run. Um, so I look for that currently. Um, that's why Wednesday was an off day, because it didn't look right on the socials. I didn't feel comfortable posting anything, and then today one of them was good and one of them was bad. But that's still gonna be the thing. There'll be a couple in the morning that just look right or set up. So I'll continue to post those, and we'll take that until we get out of these red days and we get another one of those bear market bounces. I think it was 6 days last time. Nasdaq's been red 4 straight days, so we could have a couple more, um, in my opinion. If you have to trade, if you want to trade, the best thing to do this time, for me personally, is look what was just beat to shit the day before. If it lost 10 or 15%, it's probably going to check back some, especially if you're in a range already. So, um, yeah, as always, read P's fucking sector notes because they're brilliant. I've probably lost half my money chasing material bottoms at this point in time, if they weren't for those notes. Um, and then ask questions in the room. That's going to save your guys' tail right now. Pops is a good example of that. When you see something, just post it. We'll talk it out, and more eyes on it, the better. So, P, we'll give him a second, see if he hops back in. No, well, if not, everyone have a good night. DM's always open. Chat's always open. Just tag me if you need anything. I'd be around. I'll drop notes later. Sure, P will have a bunch of notes later. Um, less is more right now, people. 1 or 2 good trades, better than 5 or 6 half-ass ones. So, um, have a good evening, and we'll catch you guys in the room.